less religion, more sex. Hello, my name is Kara, and today I'll be talking about the band Cherry Pools. You may not have heard of Cherry Pools. Their first piece of work that came out was in 2018, which is Less Religion, More Sex, which is the EP that I'll be talking about today. Who is Cherry Pools? According to Last.fm, Cherry Pools is an indie pop band from Toronto, Canada. Originally a four-piece, the trio consists of ex-Abandon All Ships bassist/clean vocalist Martin Broda, Sean Medeiros, and Rachel Barker. Hopefully I didn't butcher any of those. According to Melodicmag.com, the band is described to have a pastel pop type vibe to them, and I couldn't agree more. Cherry Pools put out Less Religion, More Sex in 2018, which was about a time that we were coming out of the Tumblr indie pop era. I mean, if you think about it, the 1975 had put out their sophomore album in 2015, I do believe, or 2016, around that time. And I mean, Halsey was hot. A lot of indie pop was coming to the scene, and The Neighborhood was really popular around that time. And I would describe actually Cherry Pools to be almost a mix of like the 1975 and The Neighborhood. And what I mean by that is The Neighborhood has that Cali, California type, messy kind of, it's hot out, it's summertime, gravel pavement, I'm pennyboarding. And the lead singer of Cherry Pools kind of has that valley accent, though they're from Toronto. Yet with the guitar and the synth in the background reminds me of the 1975. So kind of like a mixture, I would say, of those two groups. If you like any of those groups, I think you would definitely like Cherry Pools. Soon after coming out with their EP, Less Religion, More Sex, they unfortunately had to drop their bassist due to sexual misconduct. Then they took a hiatus for about 10 months, and then after their hiatus, they started putting out singles. However, they have been on an indefinite hiatus since 2020, since those singles they put out. So what are my thoughts on the album? So I think it goes to say without a doubt that their single off of the album that was the biggest hit, quote unquote, is Hollywood. She changes clothes like her boyfriend's. The latest style is to use them. Sometimes her nose sniffs a few things. She only smokes when it's the new thing. And your body's got the best of me. And daddy's money is a luxury. I feel like that is so Cali. Like, that is so, like, that Cali Valley accent. Like, every time he enunciated, like, best of May, you know, instead of me, it's May. And luxury. And then naive. That's so naive. If you weren't so naive. And when you watch the music video, it's very reminiscent of like that 2016, I almost say like Visco era, but I feel like Visco was like a little after 2018. That was more like 2020 type beat. Am I wrong? Like when Hydro Flask was like really popular and like scrunchies and everything. Like I don't think that, maybe they were ahead of their time. Cherry Pools was ahead of their time. I blurred the album cover because I wasn't sure if that was allowed on YouTube. I think it's really funny. I personally really like the artistic take on it. Like, I think it's great. Like, I fuck with it heavy, but like, it's a priest in bondage, like full bondage gear. So like, you look it up for yourself, you'll see what I'm talking about. But I have to blur it for now. Like, also not to trigger anyone too. Like, be sensitive to that kind of content, and I totally respect that. It's kind of jarring to see it at first too. Like, I was a little jarred, and I think it's kind of like that shock value. Like, I feel like they did that on purpose for like the shock value of it, because it kind of makes you wonder, like, what is this album about? Like, is it like, what is it? It almost reminds you of like a metal album. Like, I feel like metal albums, like black metal, death metal, like it's all kind of like shock value and stuff like that. But like to have like an indie pop, pastel pop, like type beat, type 1975, to have something like that, I think is really unique and kind of funny. Different tracks, starting with Hollywood, Forever Young, Are You in Love, Caught in the Stars, All the Way, and Thief in the Night. My personal two favorites are Hollywood and Are You in Love. I feel like Hollywood brings me back to that time period of my youth of like, though I wasn't in like the preppy scene, or like I was pretty into the indie pop scene. I had to be like one of the biggest 1975 fangirls. I had an Instagram account where I would just like have pictures of them and like edit them and like post them and just like talk about the songs. The only followers I had were my friends from high school, but like that's okay. Like, you know, I feel like Hollywood is, yeah, it's like very reminiscent of the time, but like in the best light possible. Like when you watch the music video for Hollywood, it like describes that perfectly. Even the like lens they use on the camera is like, if you lived during that time, like you know what I'm talking about. And if you didn't, like, you know, I think it's something that the newer generations, if they're into like indie pop, like that's some of the roots, you know what I mean? Like it's just so fun, and like it makes me like feel like I wish I could relive, well, I wish I could relive like most of my life, but like relive some of my teenagehood in that way of like, I don't know, it's fucking summertime and it's hot, and like I'm in a like a roofless car, and I'm like blasting this on the radio with my friends, and like we all got our arms out and we're like screaming, letting loose, and like having fun in like a youthful way. Just while I'm doing this video, I discovered that they did artwork for their singles. I guess Forever Young was also another single of theirs. See, I discovered Cherry Pools on Spotify, like as a Spotify recommendation, probably back in like 2019, 2020. And so like their EP was already out at that point. So it's not like I was seeing like the single artworks of when they put the singles out, because it was just, you know, when they came out with the EP, it was like just that. If you have Spotify, you know what I mean, where like this, usually the artwork for the singles goes away when like the full project comes out, or like singles aren't an option anymore if the full project comes out. That's how some like Spotify profiles are designed. As I'm watching the music video for Are You in Love, I think it's really funny and silly that they're like censoring like random things in the music video that like don't need to be censored, but they never censored their artwork for the EP. Like, I think that's kind of funny. I don't know. It's like ironic, like censoring things that don't need to be censored, and then like uncensoring something that probably like should be censored. It's an artistic take. You could take that for what you will. Like there's a little bit of like a deeper message behind that. I feel like maybe in society, you know, like we censor ourselves for things that don't need to be censored, and then we let things out that probably should be censored, right? Like, are you in love with anyone else? It's just such a vibe. It's so fun, and like the music video itself like encaptures literally like what I kind of had in my mind. It's very colorful. It sucks because with all the research I did, I can't seem to find where Cherry Pools went. They had that small hiatus after they kicked the bassist out for, you know, the sexual misconduct, which I'm glad that they did, because I think other bands could learn from that. But they haven't put anything out since 2020. And I was even looking on like Instagram instead of just like articles or sources. Like I was looking on their Instagrams, and like people are commenting like, where'd y'all go? You know what I mean? And I feel like Cherry Pools deserves a lot of love. Like I think their music was really fun and really original, and it was like really going off of a time in music of like indie pop that I really liked. It was really fun, and it makes me like want to be like embody that youthful energy again. And, you know, I wanted to let everyone know about them. They may never make music again because it's been 5 years, but it's never too late. Cherry Pools, if you're listening to this, it's never too late. Drop another EP, like, please. But totally respect if you gave up music and you don't want to do that anymore. That's okay. Regardless, I think they deserve more love, and I hope you go check out Cherry Pools. Thanks for listening.